And I am with one of my most favorite talented people I know. She is Jaemi Loeb, the JCC Jewish Community Center of Metropolitan Detroit Cultural Arts Director. She handles the book fair, one of my most favorite past old clients, maybe one of my first clients, I think, ever. I'd have to really look back, but it is, it's one of my just most loved clients. The book fair, I think Detroit has the distinction of saying probably the oldest.
Correct. We invented it.
We invented the book fair.
We invented the Jewish book fair.
Right, all book
Right.
fairs, I'd say. And film festival falls under you, and SAJE, which is seminars for adults, adults Jewish enrichment.
Yep.
I want to get that right.
That's a tough one.
And how long have you been now at the JCC?
2.5 years.
Oh my God, it feels longer. Doesn't it feel long? Feels longer for me. How about you?
Yeah. Well, I moved to town for this job, so it's like there's the before life, and
right.
You know what I mean? So it feels like a long time. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you came, you barely sit down in your desk, and it's like now you're doing like this job. I mean, you came, you had so many successful endeavors. But and we're going to get to the film festival in a minute, but I think for those watching, there's been a lot of transition, of course, with all major organizations, but big ones for the JCC.
Yeah.
And I just said to you, I like your home office, but that is so strange. I mean, how strange to have this major building, in Detroit, and you're working from home. And so you service, the cultural art. So tell me, take us back to a little bit a year ago, and how you're handling these major festivals, because you are handling them and they are happening. Thank God.
Yeah. So middle of March last year, middle of March 2020,
right?
Which seems like eons ago.
Yeah, for all of us.
Yeah, we all at the JCC started working at home like everyone else when there was that work from home order that came down. And, the brief at first was basically like, go do stuff on the internet. And so we had our first virtual event pretty quickly. March 23rd was our first virtual event. And it was sort of a standalone event with Alan Zweibel, who had been supposed to come to the book fair before, but he got caught up in filming a movie that's now finally coming out. So that's kind of cool. But
I just got to stop and say, tell people if they don't know who Alan is.
Yes.
Because he's
hilarious. Fabulous. He is fabulous. Yeah. He used to write for SNL. He's written a lot of movies. He's written a couple of books. His newest book, I think it's called Laugh Lines. It's a autobiography memoir sort of book. Hilarious, highly recommended. And he's one of those people that you may not recognize his name, but you have absolutely seen his work. If you 100%. Have been alive in the past 40 to 50 years, you have seen his work. He's really ubiquitous in the industry, and he is hilarious. And he's one of those people that, like, once he starts telling a story, you just like hang on for the ride, because
you do. and I have been, I'll just tell a side story to him, which I think you do know, but he's one of these genuine people in the industry. He knows the people he knows, it's endless. But he is so kind. He and I sat at Fox 2 one day, many times actually. We've been at Fox 2 together, but most recently we were sitting in the green room and just talking and waiting, and we were catching up, and I was telling him about my daughter in New York, and he's like, when I get back to New York after this book tour, I'm going to go have coffee with her. And I was like, oh, that's really kind of you. And one of those moments of, sure you are, or right. That's nice of you. And after, I don't know, a month or so, he was traveling around and did our book fair. He sent me an email almost reprimanding me. And he, in his funny way. And he's like, where's your daughter's phone number and email? And I was like, okay. And he went and had coffee with her, very mentorship like. And I thought, my God,
Yep.
What a great guy. And I only bring this story up because when we talk about the film festival in a moment and the book fair, these are the type of people we bring into the city. That's one of the reasons I've always loved talking about these festivals. We're the real deal in town.
We've been really fortunate, I think, as a community to host really big names, and we'll talk about some of them, but also emerging authors and everybody in between. A lot of cities that get the big names only are interested in the big names, right?
Yes.
I think our community it's amazing. I mean, it's so unusual the way people show up for interesting topics, even when it's not someone famous,
Yes.
And so after our first event, we kept doing sort of one-off type virtual events, some that were connected to SAJE, some that were connected to book fair, all through the summer. We had one or two a week, most weeks. I think we took Passover off, but and then this past October, we did film festival. We built a streaming platform and, showed films. We had a bunch of short talkback sort of events with directors and actors from all over the world, really, which was super exciting and fascinating to learn that internet quality in Israel is kind of hit or miss.
I think it's hit or miss everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it seemed, it's interesting. It was just interesting to see like how people described their internet service in different places. So,
and also for you to, I have to say that, not that a pandemic, I say there's nothing good about it, but we find the good and we find the way of doing business. And, historically, the film festival has been in April or May.
Correct.
Depending on, we go lunar as well, depending on.
Right. We had a really exciting festival planned for last May, and we just could not do it in person. And so, we had to postpone it, and we postponed it until we felt like we could do it virtually really well.
Yeah.
Because it took some time to suss through, like, what were the options for streaming, how it was going to work, to set up our own streaming platform. I mean, we didn't literally build it from scratch. We hired a company, but there's a lot of setup.
Right.
So that happened in October. And then in December, we had a virtual book fair. With our usual 45, 50 events in the course of a week, which was, the usual kind of crazy fun. And it all happened on YouTube. You can still go to our YouTube channel and watch almost all of their events. All of those events. We did have our Saturday night event. We had Tova Feldschuh, who is amazing, but, she didn't allow us to keep that video up in perpetuity for sort of obvious reasons, because her book has only just come out, actually. So we were the first to have her. Like she's been here, I think a couple times. Since I've been involved, she has been to the Berman Theater a couple times and just been a wonderful, loyal Detroit performer. And so to be able to then have her come and be a part of it virtually was, just wonderful. I think what's been remarkable, Jaemi, is that no matter what, your energy to just keep it going. Well, thank you.
I know you don't take compliments well, and you have, and I'll put it out there that there's no stronger volunteer corps, I would say, in this community than the book fair and film festival. I mean, having been the publicist, man, this is like, I'm always jealous when you walk in, you know, when it was in person, that volunteer crew is friendly. They, you know, they can walk in, they know what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
And
so
they have adapted really well. I mean, it's hard to adapt to an all virtual world like this, especially for people who have been volunteering in a certain way for a really long time.
Right.
And they've all been amazing in their willingness to try new things and their understanding of, you know, we don't have, usually we have like this gang of people who show up to cashier at the bookstore, right? And we don't have that for them.
And
but they're like, well, what else can I do?
Right. And they look for, and and not only that, I mean, I have to just really say they love it. They look forward to it. And it's a friendship. It's a, you know, when are you working? I mean, I'm telling you, I'd like to steal them all when I do events but believe me, I wouldn't go near that list to hijack any of them. They're so great. And the leadership, and I mean, I do believe, you know, we'll be back in person in that regard. But I think, you know, and I've said this and people are probably going to tune me out because I say it a lot, is the nice thing about this is you have set up this wherewithal to have the streaming and do things online, to now, especially as a Jewish community center, be able to take in the online and adapt, so people who maybe can't get to you, and I don't mean because they don't want to walk from the parking lot into the building.
But I mean, even that walk is not nothing, is the thing.
Right.
And, you know,
but I love that, you know, hopefully in the future we'll be back together, but, you know, maybe one book or two books or something will be online so people can enjoy it, or, you know.
So we've built a lot of infrastructure, and I think, you know, it was a lot to start doing virtual events, you know, 1 and 2 a week instantly like that. Like it was a lot, but I'm so glad we did it, because not only did we learn quickly how to do a good virtual event, but we taught our audience how to be with us online. And they got used to it. It took some time, but they are used to it now. And so I think, you know, when we are back in person, we have the capacity physically at the JCC to simulcast live events, like live simulcasting of events to the internet, right? It's not as complicated as one might imagine. It's just a matter of having a good camera and good internet, basically. So, you know, that's...
Well, but I think you said something super important, is you're teaching your audience.
Exactly.
And that's really key, because your audience in that building, as a you know, 28 years ago or 29 years ago, I was the marketing director there. That audience in that building is from birth to beyond. Training the audience of such a large audience and target audience is very challenging in that building. And so to be able to train them to a new way is really important. Yeah.
It was a lot of tech support for a long time. When we did Film Festival in October, I felt like I was, for that whole month, constantly on the phone giving tech support, basically. I wasn't literally, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But, you know, after the first because the film festival lasted almost all of October. And so after the first 2 weeks, it settled down because people learned. And now that our audience has... I mean, not that they didn't necessarily know how to use YouTube, although some people did not, right? Some people, we've been teaching them to use their computer, teaching them to use their smart TV. And even the people who knew how to use their stuff didn't quite understand how it would work to be with us online. And so now that, by and large, our audience has figured that out, it's opened up a whole new world of programming for us.
Yeah.
Because not only if we have an in-person event, we can broadcast it to the internet easily and now be confident that the people who can't get out or can't make it will go and watch it, number one. And number two, this must, now I've forgotten when, it was a few months ago, sometime when it was colder, because what even is time anymore? We had Howard Jacobson, the author, and Martin Stellman, the screenwriter, both in the UK. Well, they're both from the UK. I think Martin happened to be in Spain at that moment. But we had them both for a really interesting discussion about, Jews in the UK and representation of Jews in UK media and things like that, that on no planet would we have been able to fly them in for an event like that. Right?
Well, and I think that's where I say the plus of a pandemic has opened our audiences up to people we wouldn't necessarily get to see. However, this morning on the Today Show, Bon Jovi said he's releasing his summer tour, and it's this Bon Jovi concert, and it's online. And I looked at my husband and I said, this is not how I want to see Bruce Springsteen. And I made it really clear that I want to go to concerts again. And so, I know we can start seeing films, but, I want to walk out our door again, and I want to see an author live again.
We all do.
But I do like, when I think about my parents in Florida, and I know they want to go and see an author again. They love a book fair in Florida, and but if it's too many people, if it's a really cold, horrible day in November of a book fair, which we have, I want my mother-in-law to feel safe and be able to see it, in a different way and still experience that now.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that before.
Right. I mean, we partially didn't have we technically had the capacity. We didn't have the infrastructure, and we didn't have an audience who felt comfortable doing that. Mm-hmm. So I think it allows us to better serve several portions of our community. One being, people who are older and may have mobility issues and or just be less likely to go out on a snowy, miserable night. Mm-hmm. But also people who just generally have mobility issues, are homebound, have trouble in crowds, like all kinds of people who we just have not had the ability to serve very well. Now we do. And it is really exciting. I mean, it's sad that it took a pandemic for us to get this together, but I'm glad that we're now able to do that. And to your point about, people we wouldn't usually be able to see, closing night of film festival is actually a perfect example of that. So we have Amy Irving and Carol Kane coming to talk to us about Joan Micklin Silver and their time working with her and her legacy and all of those things. Again, those are two people who would not have, in the middle of film festival, Carol Kane's in the middle of shooting a show for Netflix. She would not have interrupted her shooting schedule to fly to Detroit to talk to us for an hour, right? So, it opens up this whole new world of exciting events, exciting content, exciting people. And, I think the thing I heard most about Film Festival in October was, oh my gosh, I loved being able to watch the movies whenever I wanted.
Well,
I think we're going to have trouble going back.
And let's really speak about Film Festival, because a little different, and I can really speak to this. It was always a little hard to promote Film Festival.
Yeah.
One thing different about Book Fair was the amount of authors that came in. They loved coming to Detroit. And, they were live and in person, Film Festival, you're right. Now what's so amazing. And I always, I said this all the time, who's coming, with Film Festival, who's coming in, who can we promote coming in now, certainly virtually, you're right. To be able to say, you're going to watch the film, you're going to talk to, or you're going to hear from a director or writer, it gives that Sundance what was always unique about Sundance was that concept. And that's what people love about a film festival. I mean, the word festival is
and that
that.
was, you know, it was always really hard for us. We always had several talkbacks and, you know, fun events and stuff like that. But it's not because the costs of a film festival are in the film licensing. That's
Sure.
like the biggest line item. And we are not a big enough film festival to also then be able to afford to bring in lots of people, right? We would always bring in one or two really exciting people and then have other talkbacks with local or local-ish experts, which were always great events. But like you say, a little harder to promote, I mean, people would come to the film and stick around for the talkback because they were interested, and that worked really great. But now, because we're able to have people from pretty much anywhere without additional travel costs, you know, it's a much more vibrant set of events, I think, that we're able to do. And
I think what people need to realize, and it sounds really simple, they need to give the films a chance. And I say that in the simplest ways because there's so many films that I would just go and watch, or, you know, bring my husband, and you walk out and you're like, I didn't know that exists. You know, you just don't know.
Yep.
And it isn't Tom Cruise, people. You know, it isn't. These are, you know, but some of these films just touch your heart, or they're just magnificent.
There are films you literally cannot see anywhere else. And that's, I think, you know, this has always been true, but as film festivals sort of fight Netflix in a way, I think Netflix cannot curate for you, right? All it's got is an algorithm, right? It'll show you stuff that it thinks you like based on what you've already watched, but it can't predict something out of left field. Me and my team, we're professionals at that. And when I say my team, I mean our film festival committee that's been doing this for a long time, the other staff in the cultural arts department. What we do is try and predict what people will like, and also present things that we know are of really good quality, are interesting, are entertaining, and so on. We try to make sure there's a variety of things. We have, a fun quotient that we must meet. A fun quota, you know, and we make sure that there's a balance of, you know, interesting topics, fun movies, touching movies, as you said. And, you know, this year we're doing a drive-in, which is so exciting.
So talk about some of the, let's just say the film festival this year is May 2nd through the 23rd. I will do the pitch that the pitch of this is not an inexpensive endeavor at all. And so going to the website, there are plenty of opportunities to sponsor. So please do that if you have that within your means. But tickets are $5 per viewer per film. But you can also, there's packages that you can buy.
So if you become a patron of Film Festival, meaning a donor to Film Festival, you get a festival pass. So you get access to all of the films, including there's 3 films that are exclusive for patrons. Only patrons get to see those films. And one of those films you may have seen they're starting to promote it now. It's called 6 Minutes to Midnight. It's Eddie Izzard and Dame Judi Dench on the same screen. Eddie Izzard is not even, I'd never seen her not wearing makeup before, and she's amazing in this role. And Dame Judi Dench being amazing. So I would think it's worth it to become a donor just to see that film.
Right.
But also to support Film Festival.
And what's the, and there's different levels for that.
Correct. So it starts for one person, it's 180. For 2 people, it's 360. And it sort of goes up for there. Obviously, it's on the honor system in terms of how many people are sitting on the couch. We hope that people will be relatively honest so that, you know, we'll support Film Festival. Our usual ticket price is $13 a person. So, you know, it's a good deal.
Give us in a few minutes. Okay, so first of all, it's culturalarts.jccdet.org/filmfest.
Yes.
All the information is there. Look, I have worked with Jaemi. One of the best things that Jaemi did when she came in is made sure that you can get these festival schedules, information when you go to the website. Thank God. So she and I will laugh about that alone, but it's just dedicated. It's there. The information is there.
Yep.
And, you know, I think what I love best is really that I direct everybody to the website, because the number one thing is, well, I don't know about the book. I don't know about the film. And, you know, as someone who's doing PR, you can't list 25 films in synopsis. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's a lot. So people on the website, if you go to where it says film lineup, you can see a list of all the films. You click on it, it takes you to a page that has a brief synopsis. You can watch the trailer. It tells you how long it is, all that kind of stuff. Also,
that is the beauty of Jaemi.
If it's not on the web, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So also, if on the landing page on a film festival homepage, at the bottom, there's a button that says focus on films. And that's if you want to read more in depth. It's not exactly a review. It's sort of a discussion of each film. There's a few films that we haven't posted the reviews. They're the write-ups yet, but you can sort of navigate through all the films. And if you want to read, it's sort of like a page-long mini essay about the film if you want some more in-depth information. Some of them have discussion questions. And so, yeah, you definitely have a lot of opportunities to not try before you buy, but learn about the film before you decide to watch it. I do want to say that I want people to think of it a little more like renting a film from Amazon than buying a theater ticket, because once you purchase a ticket, it's only good for 24 hours. It's a security measure so that distributors will trust us with their films. So I would say, go to the website and buy the ticket basically when you plan to watch it.
Okay, so I think that's important.
Yep.
And May 2nd through the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Did we miss anything? Because you know how much I love these festivals. And so
yes. Well, I do want to, so our first week is packed with events. And I do want to just mention that drive-in again. It's a double feature of two Marx Brothers films, which you don't often get to see on the big screen and are just fun and hilarious. So Horse Feathers and Monkey Business.
Oh, wow.
Two classics.
Yeah.
They're each about an hour long. So, plenty. The doors open at 8:45. Movie will start around 9:15, depending on darkness,
Okay. What is the date of that?
That is May 6th.
Okay.
So it's coming up. It's a free event, but we do need people to register because there's only so many parking spaces. So
okay.
I want to encourage people, if you like drive-ins, if you feel like seeing some Marx Brothers, go to the website, register for the event, and show up.
I love that. I really do. I'm so excited about the film festival. I think that, people are excited to see great films. Some people are excited to go back into a theater, and others are not ready. And right. So, look, the Oscars were last night, and my husband and I were sort of, what's this film? We hadn't seen a lot this year, and we weren't alone. And, to be able to still see great quality films, being at home and being safe is great. I love the drive-in. I have a client who was so successful with drive-ins last year. They decided to do them again this year with lots of charity components to it, because people really do feel I want to go back, I want to see movies, but I'm not ready to go quite yet into the theater. I'm gonna work my way back, but I miss popcorn and movies.
Well, I'll give your viewers a little exclusive inside knowledge here. At this drive-in, we will have free popcorn. And there may or may not be a social media promotion involving those like Groucho Marx glasses. So
very fun.
Stay tuned for that.
Okay, so that's drive-in May 6th.
Yes, May 6th, Thursday night. It's free. You just need to register.
Wonderful. Okay, so everybody head over to culturalarts.jccdet.org film fest. You would think I would know this by now, but it's just a mouthful. And if you go to the Jewish Community Center of Metropolitan Detroit, you can work your way a little bit.
We're having a little problem with the link from the JCC site, actually. But if you just do a search for Detroit Jewish Film Festival,
it will get you there.
Yep.
Okay. Inbox me. I will say that it is on my story today on this link. So everybody, share it, reach out to me. I am always happy to talk about film festival and book fair. When will book fair be this fall?
November. We haven't settled on much in the way of details yet because the situation is so ever changing.
Yes. Well, keep me posted. You'll come back and you'll talk about book fair.
That sounds great.
I will always want to talk about that as well.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Miss you.
Thanks so much.
It was good seeing you.
See you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.